Old lady thought her adopted black daughter was leaving her at a care home, but then, in a small town called Sunnyvale, where the days moved slowly and the air smelled of fresh grass, lived an old woman named Clara Thompson. She stood at her window one morning, looking out at the neighborhood she'd called home for over 40 years. Her old slippers barely made a sound on the wooden floor. The kettle whistled behind her, but she didn't turn around. Something felt off, and her stomach churned with a bad feeling. Her fingers gripped the curtain tightly. Clara was 82, a strong woman who always faced life bravely, never one to fuss or whine. But this morning, her gut told her something wasn't right. She poured her tea, black as always, and sat at the kitchen table. The newspaper lay open, but her eyes didn't focus on the words. Her knees ached, like they did every day. Her right hand shook a little when she lifted the cup to her mouth, not enough to spill, but enough for her to notice. The clock struck 7:59 when a car pulled up outside. It wasn't her usual nurse or the food delivery people. It was her daughter, Lisa. Lisa walked in, looking confident and calm as always. Her beauty so natural. Her hair was tied back in a neat bun, and she wore jeans and sneakers, one earring missing like she'd been in a rush. Her keys jingled as she placed them on the counter. "Mom, you ready?" Lisa asked with a smile. Clara paused. "Ready for what?" "You'll see," Lisa said, already grabbing Clara's coat from the hook by the door. "Come on, let's get you out of this house for a bit." The coat felt heavy in Clara's lap. She didn't move. "Is this about my fall?" Clara asked carefully. "I told the paramedics I slipped. It's not because I need someone to watch me." Lisa knelt beside her, looking her in the eyes. "It's not about that." But Clara didn't believe her. Not even a little. Still, she let Lisa help her to the car. Pride was one thing, but balance was another. The streets passed by quietly as they drove. Spring was just starting to show in Sunnyvale, with tiny buds on the bare trees. But Clara didn't look at the scenery. She kept staring at the road signs, noticing the direction they were going, west. Too far west. The hospital wasn't that way. Nor was her favorite bakery or the church she hadn't visited in months. "Where are we going?" she asked. "You'll see," Lisa said again, her tone sweet but firm, like she was talking to a stranger, not her mom. That's when Clara's throat tightened. The roads looked familiar. Not the ones near her house, but the ones near a big building off Pine Street. It was Oakwood Senior Living, with its sign out front and a small garden in the back. Her chest felt cold. "Pull over," Clara said sharply. Lisa glanced at her but kept driving. "I said pull over now. You think I'd just leave you in a home, Mom?" Lisa asked quietly, her eyes on the road. Clara's voice broke, but her words were strong. "Isn't that what this is? Isn't that where we're going?" Lisa didn't answer, and that silence hurt more than anything. Clara turned away, pressing her forehead against the window. The air in the car felt heavy, like it was pressing down on her. Her heart didn't race, it felt slow and heavy, unsure if it should break or fight. After a moment, Lisa spoke softly. "Do you really think I'd do that to you?" Clara didn't answer because, honestly, she wasn't sure. She wanted to believe Lisa wouldn't. But years of distance and changing roles had made her doubt. Pride had kept her from admitting how scared she felt, how lonely she was. And now, it felt like she was being moved like an old piece of furniture. This wasn't the first time Clara had wondered where she stood in Lisa's life. The doubts had started long before this car ride. Lisa was 7 when Clara first met her. It happened in a small, yellow office on the 3rd floor of Sunnyvale Children's Services. Clara had come to drop off some old books she wanted to donate, mostly classic stories. She hadn't planned to stay long, but something about the little girl sitting quietly in the corner stopped her. Lisa sat with her arms wrapped around a worn-out backpack, staring at the floor. She wasn't like the other kids, not loud, not crying, just still. It was the kind of stillness that told Clara this child had already been through too much. A worker explained that Lisa had been in 6 foster homes in less than a year. Temporary homes, temporary people. Clara hadn't come looking for a child, especially not at 51. But Lisa didn't feel like a choice, she felt like a purpose. Clara took her home that week. It wasn't easy. Lisa didn't smile much. She never asked for help. When she got in trouble, she waited for punishment that never came. Clara never raised a hand. But Lisa flinched anyway. You can talk to me, Clara would say at night, sitting by Lisa's bed with a warm cloth and a glass of water. Lisa would just pull the blanket higher. The first time she called Clara Mom was an accident. It happened at a grocery store when Lisa reached for the wrong cart. Clara didn't say anything then. But that night, hearing Lisa hum in the hallway, her heart softened. For the first time in years, she felt warm inside. They built a life together, not perfect, but real. Clara taught Lisa how to cook simple things: spaghetti, cornbread, soup. Lisa taught Clara how to use the internet, though Clara never really liked it. They celebrated birthdays, had movie nights, and even argued about curfews and earrings like any family. But the world outside their home didn't always see them as a family. There were stares in restaurants, questions in waiting rooms. You're her guardian? Is she your granddaughter? Sometimes the questions were ruder. Clara never answered them. She was too proud to explain. But Lisa noticed every time. What hurt most wasn't the strangers, it was how Clara acted at home. She wasn't warm, didn't say, "I love you," often. She showed love through rules, structure, and safety. But to a girl like Lisa, who'd grown up with so much uncertainty, it didn't always feel like love. Then came the teenage years, tough ones. Lisa got quiet. Clara got stricter. One fight turned into two, then into many. By the time Lisa finished high school, she was already planning to leave, not because she hated Clara, but because of the distance between them. She moved across town, got her own place, went to school, and built her own life. She still called on Sundays, visited on holidays, but something had changed. Clara never said it, but she missed Lisa so much. She kept Lisa's graduation photo on the fridge, even when the magnet stopped working. When people asked if she had kids, she'd pause, then say, "One. She's grown now. She helps people." Her voice always shook a little on the word, helps. Lisa, though, carried guilt. She worked with families like hers, kids who reminded her of herself. Every time she visited a home where a grandma was raising a child or an aunt was struggling with 3 jobs, she thought of Clara. Clara, alone in that big house, moving slower, forgetting things, pretending she was fine. But neither of them said anything. They tiptoed around it, like people do when love gets mixed up with pride. But all of that, the silence, the pride, the unspoken words, was about to come crashing down. It started with small things. A missed bill here, a burnt pot of soup there, a forgotten phone call. Clara had always been sharp. The kind of woman who remembered every neighbor's dog, every due date, every story she'd heard. But lately, things slipped away. The first time Lisa noticed, she let it go. "Mom, you left the stove on," she said one afternoon while visiting. The stove was hot, but nothing was cooking. Clara brushed it off. "I was heating the kettle, stop worrying." But there was no kettle. Then came the day Clara missed her doctor's appointment. She swore Lisa got the date wrong, even when Lisa showed her the note in her own handwriting. "I don't need a babysitter." Clara snapped. "I've been running this house since before you were born." Lisa didn't say anything, but she watched. She started coming by more often, pretending she had errands nearby. She checked the fridge, the mail, the calendar. Each visit showed something new: spoiled milk, unopened letters, pills in the wrong order. Then came the fall. Clara called her the next morning, saying she'd slipped in the hallway. She said it wasn't a big deal, but she paused just long enough for Lisa to hear the truth. Lisa drove over right away. When she got there, Clara was sitting on the floor in the hallway, legs stretched out, arm bruised, pride hurt. "I'm fine," she said as Lisa tried to help her up. "Just needed a minute." Lisa knelt down, gently touching her shoulder. "You sat here all night." Clara looked away. She was still proud, still stubborn, but in that moment, she looked small, not weak, just tired, like someone who'd been carrying too much for too long. After that, Lisa tried to talk about getting help, about options, maybe even moving in with her. Clara shut down every time. "This is my house. I don't need saving," she'd say. "You're not being saved, Mom," Lisa said. "You're being cared for. I raised you to be strong, not soft." Clara replied. "No," Lisa said quietly. "You raised me to survive." "That's different." That hurt Clara. She didn't answer because deep down, she knew Lisa was right. And she hated it. Still, the walls stayed up. Every time Lisa offered help, Clara acted like it was an insult. Every kind suggestion felt like a betrayal. Like Lisa was trying to take something away. One night, Lisa stood in the living room, holding a folder. "Mom, I looked into some places, assisted living. Just a few spots. Clean, close by, with nice staff. You'd still be free." Clara stood up so fast she knocked her tea over. "You think I'm helpless?" she yelled. "You think because I'm old, I need to be put somewhere like an old chair?" Lisa's voice broke. "That's not what this is." But Clara had already walked away. The talk ended like all their hard ones did, in silence. Later that night, Clara sat alone in the dark, listening to the clock tick. For the first time, her house scared her. The hallway looked longer, the stairs steeper, the silence too loud. She thought about calling Lisa. She didn't. She just sat there, wrapped in a blanket, holding the TV remote like it could keep her steady. Across town, Lisa sat at her kitchen table. Papers and brochures scattered everywhere. Her laptop glowed with housing options, caregiving services, and budget plans. Her head hurt, her heart ached. She loved her mom, but she couldn't keep watching her struggle like this. She picked up her phone to text, then stopped. She tried again. This time, she didn't ask. She told Clara she'd pick her up Saturday morning. No excuses. She had made a decision. Because sometimes love doesn't wait for permission. But that decision would bring everything, every hurt, every memory, every hidden feeling, to the surface. Saturday came faster than either of them expected. Lisa barely slept the night before. She kept walking back and forth, thinking of what to say. But nothing felt right. You don't practice speeches for the person who raised you. You just show up. She pulled up at 7:59. Right on time. Same car, same street. But everything felt heavier. Clara was already waiting, coat folded neatly on her lap, shoes tied, ready for whatever came next. They didn't talk much on the drive. The air between them was tense, full of questions neither knew how to ask. Then Clara saw the exit sign for Oakwood Senior Living, and everything broke. "I knew it," she whispered. "You think I'm a burden." Lisa kept her hands on the wheel. "Mom, please, you're just like the others," Clara said, her voice getting louder. "I gave you everything. I chose you when no one else would. I didn't have to, but I did. And now you're tired of me and want to throw me away like trash?" "That's not what this is," Lisa said, louder than she meant to. "This isn't about getting rid of you, it's about keeping you safe." Clara's voice sharpened. "Safe from what? Myself? My own house?" "No, Mom," Lisa said. "Safe from falling down the stairs. Safe from forgetting to eat. Safe from being alone in that house while your body struggles and you're too proud to admit it." The car went quiet. Then Clara spoke, softer this time. "You're ashamed of me." Lisa hit the brakes harder than she meant to and pulled over to the side of the road. She turned and looked at her mom, really looked at her. Clara's hands were clenched in her lap, knuckles pale, her eyes not angry now, but hurt. Lisa let out a shaky breath. "I'm not ashamed of you," she said. "I'm terrified of losing you." Clara's lips parted, but no words came out. "I don't know how to do this," Lisa went on, her voice trembling. "I don't know how to be your daughter and your nurse and your caretaker all at once. I go to work every day helping people keep their lives together. But I come home and watch the strongest woman I've ever known fade away." Clara blinked fast, trying not to cry. "You think I haven't noticed?" Lisa said. "The bruises on your arms. The unpaid bills. The time you called me and forgot we'd already talked? I notice everything, Mom, and it's breaking me." Her voice broke again, raw. Clara looked away, biting her lip. "You raised me to survive," Lisa said more softly. "But you didn't teach me what to do when the person who saved me is the one slipping away." The silence after that was heavy. Finally, Clara spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "I didn't know how to be gentle. I thought if I was tough on you, the world couldn't hurt you more than I already had." "You didn't hurt me," Lisa said. "You saved me. You gave me a life. But I'm grown now, and you don't have to carry everything alone anymore." The car sat there on the side of Westview Road. Cars passed by, honking. Life kept moving, but inside that car, time stood still. Finally, Clara spoke with a shaky breath. "Then where are we going if not the home?" Lisa smiled, tears in her eyes. "Somewhere better." She turned the key, and the engine started again. They drove for another 10 minutes in a quiet peace this time. The silence wasn't angry anymore, it was soft. When they pulled into the driveway of a small, one-story house with a big porch and freshly painted railings, Clara's jaw dropped. The lawn was neat. A ramp replaced the front steps. The windows were new, and a wind chime hung by the door. "This is yours?" Clara asked, her voice rough. Lisa nodded. "Ours. I found it last year. Took out a loan. Spent every free minute fixing it up. It's got wide doors, grab bars, low counters, new floors, everything you need." Clara turned to her. "Why?" Lisa looked her straight in the eyes. "Because you gave me a home when I had nothing. And I promised myself I'd give you one back one day. That day is here." Clara blinked, trying to hold back tears. "You could have told me," she whispered. "You wouldn't have let me," Lisa said, smiling through her tears. As they stepped inside the new house, neither of them knew how much healing still lay ahead, and how much love was waiting behind that front door. Clara stood in the doorway, her feet stuck to the ground. Her eyes widened as she looked around the room. It was warm inside, the floors were a soft, honey-colored wood, freshly polished. The light above the kitchen glowed gentle and golden. A familiar smell filled the air, lavender and lemon, just like the oils Lisa used to sneak into the mop water as a kid. The house didn't look like a hospital or a care facility. It looked like someone had built it with love, because someone had. Lisa reached for her hand.